Hello there, listener here. This is a bit of a random video, but I thought it was fun to do, so I'm gonna do it. These last, I don't know, 8-9 months or something, I've been doing a lot of retro achievements, which has been extremely fun. If you don't know what retro achievements are, Google, right? And I just mastered my 50th PS2 game, so I thought, why not make a little bit of a tier list here. The way this is gonna work is I rank it based off of how much I would recommend people play it for the retro achievements, with the intention of mastering the game, because just rating the game itself or the retro achievement set itself, I don't think would be fair. So it's gonna be a bit of a combination here. These are in chronological order of when I did those. It's gonna be mostly racing games and FPS games, but a bunch of random stuff in there as well. So let's start off with the first one I did, which was Call of Duty 3. That was the only mainline Call of Duty game between 1 and Modern Warfare 3, and that's the original Modern Warfare 3, that I had never played before because it was console only. And so I decided to try this one out. It's not great. It definitely shows how saturated the market was with World War II shooters, because there's just nothing really special about this game. It plays fine, but there's just not much to it. It's pretty short as well. As far as the achievements go, you just play through on hard and do some kills with some weapons. Really nothing special. It's like fine to play. It's still Call of Duty. I'm gonna put this in C tier. There's definitely better options as far as World War II shooters go. This game here is Burnout 1. And I decided to play all the Burnout games because I was a big fan of Burnout 3 growing up. And it's quite a miracle that they even made more Burnout games after the first one, because the first one is absolute garbage. It's the most cookie cutter, basic street racing game you could even imagine. It's really, really boring. It's really short. There's basically no content. Yeah, it's really, really poor. This is an easy F tier. The next one, this is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. That's a game from my childhood. I never played this on PS2. I did play it on PC, and I played it a lot. And it's not quite as good as I remember. One of the most annoying things is there's only like 4 or 5 tracks, so the music constantly loops, and it's very noticeable. But there are at least a couple good tracks on there. As far as the content goes, it is pretty expansive. It's a pretty long game. It took me 25 hours to master. There's lots of stuff to do. There's a lot of like special challenges that the dev of the achievement set made. So it is pretty engaging. But there are some annoying things about it, like the elimination race series, which is basically drive the same race like 5 times and last place gets eliminated every time. Those are not very great. But overall, this is a really, really fun game. Definitely recommend playing this. I'm gonna put this. I'm actually gonna put this in A tier. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do A or B. Next one is Burnout 2, and this one is already a huge improvement from the first game. There's a lot more stuff to do. The driving feels a lot better, feels a lot faster. The tracks are more fun. The traffic is more challenging, which is also a bit of a downside. because some of the tracks feel kind of trial and error at the beginning because the traffic is on a fixed cycle, but there are some spots like blind corners and stuff where you just turn around, and if you don't know where the cars are gonna be, you're just gonna crash. So, and it's really hard to catch up in this game as well if you fall behind. But overall, this is actually a pretty fun game, and it also introduced the crash mode, which is still very basic in this game, but definitely laid the groundwork for what Burnout 3 ended up doing. I think I'm going to put this in B tier. And that brings us to Burnout 3, which I was really looking forward to. And somehow, this game was even better than I remembered it being. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal game. And I still have not met a single person who doesn't like this game. It's just like everything about this game they just got right. The sense of speed, the different cars, the F1 cars especially are super fun to drive. There's really cool variations in events. They overdid it a little bit with the crash events, but overall this is absolutely fantastic. The achievements basically make you 100% the game, which is pretty standard. But there's a lot of different stuff to do, and it never ever gets boring. So this is an easy S tier for me. Next up is Burnout Revenge. This is the last one I played. I still have not played Dominator or Legends. I probably will at some point, but I heard those are not as good, so I put them on hold for now. Burnout Revenge somehow manages to be just as good as Burnout 3. I think I still prefer Burnout 3, but Burnout Revenge, they made the crash events a lot more interesting. They're a lot more involved, and there are not as many of them, which I think was exactly the right decision. The soundtrack also somehow is even better, and there's more different tracks. And again, the achievement set, I believe it was just 100%ing the game. The signature takedowns were a lot more annoying than in Burnout 3, but overall not too bad, but they did take a little while. Because some of them are just a lot more precise with the locations. Overall, yeah, this is also a fantastic game. This is also gonna go in S tier here. Next up is Killzone 1. That is, I believe that was the first-person shooter I played on PS2 back in the day. I remember getting this one from GameStop. It is a really fun game. It's very ambitious. The visuals aren't that great. It's like very gray. It's like a lot of FPS games from the time kind of look like that. Maybe they were a bit too ambitious with how big the areas that you fight in were. But yeah, sometimes it just it doesn't look great, like in the swamp level, for example. For the achievement set, you do have to play through this game 4 times. Well, not quite 4 times, but you have to do every level with every character. And some characters you only get after a while, but it wasn't actually that repetitive because the characters are different enough that it doesn't get too boring. Especially, I really liked Haka. It was really satisfying to use the Helga's rifle and actually hit stuff with it. For the achievements, you also have to play on hard mode, but if you play Rico on hard, it's basically just playing on easy with any other character. Because Rico has like 3 times the health and has the best weapon in the game. So it's really unfair. Overall, yeah, this is a pretty fun game. Definitely recommend playing. It's not S tier, but it's to me it's A tier. Then we have MotorStorm Arctic Edge. I was a big fan of MotorStorm on PS3. I played all the games on there. MotorStorm 1, Pacific Rift, Apocalypse, and RC, although RC is a very different game, of course. And I really, really like Pacific Rift and Apocalypse. The first one, not so much, but I definitely had to play Arctic Edge as well. And it just feels right. It's only on PS2, of course, but it definitely still does feel like MotorStorm. It is a really fun game. There are some, bullshit physics moments, but that's just MotorStorm for you. Overall, this is really, really fun as well. But it's not as fun as some of the other racing games. For the achievements, again, you do the 100% run, which includes beating every single developer ghost on every single track with every single vehicle. And there's like 190 different ghosts or something that you have to beat. Luckily, most of them are extremely easy to beat, so it doesn't take too long. But yeah, this is a pretty great game. I would also recommend playing this. If you like off-road racing, that's definitely a game you want to check out. Then we have Buzz the Hollywood Quiz. Now, quiz games are a bit rough as far as achievements go because obviously you can just cheat and Google all the answers. So there's not much of a point to play games like these for retro achievements, unless you just want the points, I guess. I did play this back in the day with my family a lot, and I really enjoyed it. And if you do just that, it is a really fun game. For the achievements, though, I think I just have to go with C tier. It's really short. I really like that they do the achievement sets for games like these mostly on the shorter side because, again, you don't want to sit there just Googling answers for like 10 hours. Next up is Flat Out, another racing game. This is also a pretty short racing game, pretty basic. I know there's a lot of fans for this game, but for me, it just did not click. It's just really, again, it's pretty basic. The driving feels like really rough. Like I just don't feel like I'm in control at all when I'm playing this game. Also, as far as the achievements go, you have to do all the mini game things and beat all the high scores there, and those are just awful. Yeah, overall, this was not a great experience. It wasn't as bad as Burnout 1, but it wasn't that good. I'm gonna give that a D. But I do realize there's a lot of people who really like this game. It just didn't click for me. Next up is Lego Star Wars. That's another one that I played as a kid when shortly after it came out. Actually, that was the first Lego game of its kind. Of course, there were Lego games before, but this is like the one that started the huge craze and spawned all the other games that came out after. And in my opinion, it does hold up. A lot of people don't like this game as much because it doesn't have as much content as most of the later games. But I still really enjoyed this, and I had a great time. There are some like fun side things in the achievement set as well, aside from just getting 100%. So it's not S tier, but I still put this in A tier. I think this is a really fun time. It's a really cute game. It's very charming. So yeah, if you like Lego games but never played this one for some reason, you definitely should. Next up is Gran Turismo Concept. What's it called again exactly? 2002 Tokyo Geneva. This one I didn't think was that great. It was all right. Um, but again, there just wasn't that much to this game. And I'm gonna talk a lot more about Gran Turismo once we get to Gran Turismo 4. Um, but this guy, it's just not very memorable, and it's still alright to play, but yeah, there's definitely better options for you if you want to do achievements. I'm gonna put this in C tier. Gran Turismo 4 Prologue. This is just a bunch of, like, almost the entirety of this game is license tests, which I'm not complaining about because I actually really enjoy doing those. Um, and there's some time trial achievements as well, I think. Yeah, there are. So overall, I actually like this set better than the Gran Turismo concept one. So I think I'm gonna put this one in B tier. Which brings us to the Big Daddy, Gran Turismo 4. Now, I was told that this was like the Gran Turismo game to play, and I had very high expectations, and I definitely was not disappointed. This is a tremendous game. It looks beautiful. It runs natively on 60 FPS, 1080i. It looks great. It's very fluid. There's so many different options for cars and customization, and all the cars actually feel different. There's a lot of different tracks to play. There's an infinite amount of events. There's so much stuff to do in this game. And mastery on this took me 150 hours. And you're not even required to do everything for this set. So, yeah, this is a phenomenal game. If you like racing games in any capacity, this is, I think, a must play. It has a great soundtrack as well. It's a mix of licensed and original, I believe. Yeah, definitely one to check out. I still have to play the Spec 2 hack, which gives some quality of life improvements. Like, one of the big gripes I have with this game, like, my only major gripe is the fact that you have to select a car before you select an event, which is really annoying because if you're like me and you don't know anything about cars, some of the requirements for the events weren't very clear to me. So I would go in and out of the garage trying to find a car that was eligible for certain races, which was really annoying. But apparently the Spec 2 hack fixes that and lets you pick a car after you pick an event, which is really great. And from the greatest to definitely one of the shittest, this is Dalmatians 3. This is one of the infamous sliding puzzle, jigsaw puzzle games with that's just trying to rip off like Disney movies. And this is Dalmatians 3. And yeah, this is gonna go in F tier. The main issue with these games I have is the fact that they're incredibly lazy. And they just look pretty ass. At least they work. But I mean, that's not really saying much. For the achievements, you just do all the sliding puzzles and jigsaw puzzles, and I think that's pretty much it. Next up is Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. This game I played on PSP back in the day, and I did get 100% back in the day. That's pretty much exactly what you do for the achievement set as well. Is get 100%. What else can I say about this game? It's just GTA. I mean, it's really good, It's probably not as good as Vice City. I still haven't played Vice City for the achievements. I did back in the day, of course. Um, but yeah, it's still really fun. Hmm, I think I'm gonna put this in. Actually, let me put this in beach here. There are some annoying things. There are some missions that are really annoying. Um, that's I think the only reason I'm gonna put this in B tier is because I believe there's just better GTA options to play for achievements. Next up is Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. That's an FPS. I did try this game many moons ago, like 10 years ago or something, and I did not get very far. Yeah, because the first few levels I thought were really like weird, um, and just felt weird to play for some reason. So I didn't get very far into this game back in the day. But I figured I'd give this another chance. When the achievement set came out, I was one of the first people who played it actually, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with this game. Believe it or not, it is a little bit rough to play, but once you know how to play it properly, it's actually really fun. The achievements as well. There's a lot of really funny side stuff that you can do, that you can easily miss if you if you don't know it's there. Um, yeah, this was just a fun time all around. It's not super long either. Mastery took me almost 14 hours, but I did play through the game twice almost. On my first play, I got 2/3 of the way through, and then I decided to start over from difficult because my first playthrough was on easy or normal. I can't remember, and I decided to go back to beginning because I thought I was ready for max difficulty. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this in 8 here. This is definitely an underrated game and achievement set. Definitely recommend playing this to anyone who likes FPS games. Need for Speed Most Wanted demo. Uh, I mean, what can I say about this one? Um, it's just not great. Um, yeah, it's not great. It is only a demo, of course. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna put this in D, I guess. Not sure where else to put it. It's not terrible. Like the driving is okay. But it's a far cry from what a full game would be. Next up is Jeopardy. This one, I normally wouldn't have played this, but it's on the PS2 launch event Evergreen thing. So I figured I get this for the free 2 credits. And it took under 3 hours, so it wasn't that long. The problem with this game is you have to write out your answers, and it like suggests answers like as you're writing it, from like a select pool of answers. So if you don't know how something is spelled, you're just completely screwed. Especially if you don't know how like the beginning is spelled, if there's like a Z or an S or whatever. So this is pretty rough to play. I think I'm also gonna give this one a D tier. It's not terrible. There's quite a lot of variety in the questions as far as I saw. But yeah, there's probably also better options for trivia games on PS2. Next up is Need for Speed Undercover. Now this game is it's pretty funny. It's really stupid. There's like live action cutscenes. There's one in particular that is that's really really silly. The driving is pretty alright. Like it's not terrible. The annoying thing is like after some of the missions you have to lose the cops, and the better option pretty much every single time is to just get caught to get back to the menu, because as long as the cops are chasing you, you can't go back to like the map and select a new thing. So best option is to just let yourself get caught, like lose some credits and just move on, because escaping from the cops is just annoying as hell, and you have to do it a lot after missions, and it's really really stupid. And as far as the achievements go, I think this was also just a 100% thing. There were some things after the story, like some extra content, but that was not so special either. I think we're gonna put this in Siege here. Like it's all right, but again, there's a lot better options for racing games. Next up is The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. This was kind of a random pick. I also saw this on the PS2 launch Evergreen event, and I read a lot of good things about this, so I decided to give it a shot, and it is a really fun game. It is a really, really fun game, actually. Was super fun to play. There's a lot of different moves you can do. On hard mode, which you have to play through, you can cheese pretty much the entire game with just the elbow drop, because the enemies are just completely clueless on what's going on when you do it. So that kind of trivializes hard mode, except for the final boss, which is complete RNG. But yeah, this is a really fun game. For the achievements, I think it's pretty much just play through on hard mode and get all the upgrades. But you get those if you do 2 playthroughs anyway. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier as well. Yeah, this is definitely a good one to play, especially for superhero games. A lot of them are not that great. But this one is definitely a good one. Next up is Urban Chaos Riot Response. This was a very intriguing game. I saw it on the new set release list. I check that one every day on the website. And I checked it out, and it was a first-person shooter where you play as a police officer, which is I don't think that's something I've ever even seen before, really. Like, usually you'll play as military or like special ops kind of stuff, secret agent, whatever. But just a regular police officer was kind of intriguing. And as far as FPS games go on PS2, this is like one of the absolute best options you have. This is a really, really good game. Unlike a lot of other FPS games of the time, it doesn't feel sluggish at all. Like the movement is really good, the gunplay is really good. Once you know how to use the riot shield, which is the most busted thing of all time, the game gets even more fun. A lot of the weapons are really, really fun to use, like especially the taser if you upgrade it. The story is completely wild and crazy. It's just so much fun. Everything about this game is just really, really fun. Definitely one you would call a hidden gem, I suppose. And the achievements, I think again it's just 100% the game, and get like certain weapon kills. You probably, you do have to play through this game twice, because Terror difficulty only gets unlocked once you play through the game once. And you have to get like all the collectibles and stuff, but that's pretty simple. I actually gonna put this one in S tier. This is just a phenomenal game. And I would definitely play this again once Xbox support for RetroAchievements comes out. Next up is Call of Duty World at War Final Fronts. This is a really short game, actually. This was a 5-hour mastery. You have to play through on veteran, but the campaign is much shorter than the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. And luckily, it's not as annoying because the grenade spam isn't as bad as in those versions. It's probably, for, like, gameplay wise, it's probably the best Call of Duty game I've played on PS2. But like the last level in particular is just, it's just really unfair. Like even without the grenade spam, the game just feels pretty random at times, more so than all the other COD games or World War II shooters of the time. Like so often, like almost every single one of my deaths is just getting randomly hit from like the side, or from like an angle that I didn't even see. Like the level design is just not. It's just really weird and stupid. But overall, this game was still more fun than Call of Duty 3. So I think I'm gonna put this one in B tier. Definitely playable. Not as terrible as people make it out to be sometimes, I think. This one is ATV Off-Road Fury. This is a really cool ATV off-road racer, actually. It plays really well. The handling is really, really good most of the time. The tracks are really fun. This is just fun to play. The only problem is the the freestyle mode, which you unfortunately have to do for the achievements. Yeah, the freestyle mode is just completely. It's just really dumb. It's not fun. It doesn't add anything to the game. So yeah, that was really annoying having to do that after doing all the races. So unfortunately for that alone, I have to put this in B. If it wasn't for that freestyle mode, I would have put this in A. But yeah, that freestyle mode just makes the game super unfun at the end. Next up is Black. That's another FPS I played back in the day, and it's really, really great. This is another game that's like Urban Chaos. It just feels fun to play and not sluggish. A problem that a lot of FPS games of the time have. Killzone also has that problem at times, where it just feels like you are just moving so slowly, and everything is just slow. But Black is not like that. Everything about this game is just really, really, really fun. And there's a lot of stuff to do. You have to do like speed runs for the achievements as well. And those were really fun as well. So everything's set. This is another S tier. This is, by the way, this runs on the same engine as Burnout 3 Takedown. And it definitely looks like it. Yeah, definitely 100% recommend this game. The story in this game is completely weird, though. I still have no idea what even is going on. But I don't care because the game is fun. Next up is the Final Fantasy XII demo, and again, I probably wouldn't have played this, but this was on the also on the PS2 launch Evergreen event, and this was actually pretty fun. And I put the Final Fantasy XII main game on my want to playlist. I'm gonna play it at some point. Currently, I'm playing Dragon Quest VII as my main big game RPG thing, but I will get to this at some point, I'm pretty sure. I'll probably put this in A tier. It's like a good demo. It shows you how to play. There are two levels with two bosses at the end. Yeah, it was pretty fun. And again, the achievements actually got something out of this demo aside from just playing through it, which is also pretty impressive. Next up is World Championship Poker. This is a pretty shitty poker game. The reason I played this was I did play this as a kid as well, and I needed revenge. This game is completely stupid and not recommended if you don't fast forward in the emulator, because the game is incredibly slow. I'm actually only the third person ever to get a mastery on this, which is pretty crazy because the set has been out for like 3 years already, almost. The problem is that it is really slow, even with fast forward. The AI is basically non-existent. Your basic strategy is pretty much just have good hand, go all in, pray, which is not really something you want of your poker game, but it is what it is. I did end up grinding this out several months ago. Yeah, I think for the set, because you have to win so many tournaments, I think I'll have to put this in D tier. It's just not a great game. It's a bit of a nostalgia trip for me, but yeah. Next up is Dragon Quest VIII. Now, I did play this game also many years ago, like 10, 11, 12 years ago, I think. And I actually got pretty far. Like back in those days, I only tried playing RPGs very occasionally because I would always get stuck and I'd always need guides, and that just was never really fun to me. But I got pretty far into this game. Actually, back then I thought I got further than I actually got, because I got to Baccarat, which is not that far away from fighting Dual Magus. And obviously, I didn't, at the time, I didn't read up on anything, so I didn't even know that Dual Magus wasn't the final boss. So I ended up dropping that game like shortly after Baccarat for I don't even know why. So I had to replay it for the achievements, and I mean this game is it's fantastic. It looks great. It has one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. The world is great. The characters are fun. Everything about this game is it's just cool. This is gonna be an easy S tier for me. The achievements, again, they pretty much have to do everything. You have to get all the items. You have to do some fun side stuff. A lot of it is missable, but not too terrible, as long as you read up on what to do beforehand. And obviously, you can make a bunch of safety saves all over the place, which is what I did. Luckily I only had to go back to a previous save like once or twice for stuff I missed, but yeah, none of that was too bad. But it is a pretty lengthy game. I'm not the best with RPGs, but it took me like 70 hours or so to play through this game, and then another 70 or so to do all the extra side content for the achievements. Yeah, 100% recommend playing this game. This game is phenomenal. I'm currently playing through Dragon Quest VII, which is also it has like the same vibe. It has like the same humor. So I'm enjoying that so far as well. And then next up is Sly 1. I still haven't played Sly 2 because the achievement set for that is completely bonkers. But I did play this one. This is like the third or fourth time I've played through this game. Again, this is like a 100% run. play through the game, then do all the Master Thief sprints, get all the collectibles, pretty standard stuff. But this game is pretty great. It's not as great as Sly 2 and Sly 3, which I will play those eventually, but for the moment I'm kind of avoiding Sly 2 just because the achievements are so crazy. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier. Next up is the Dragon Quest VIII Party and Records Chat subset. This one was really, really fun to do. And I wouldn't have done it if multisat wasn't a thing. But luckily that is a thing now. And luckily there's a really, really good guide that I forgot his name, but someone did a really, really good guide on all the chats that you have to do. Because the thing is, pretty much everything in this subset is missable. Because you have to get party chats at very specific times in the game. And some of them are very, very, very specific. But thanks to the guide, this was not too bad. Also, it's a lot of the extra dialogue that you're getting out of this is really, really fun. It's some really, really good writing. Some of them are actually cutscenes that you would otherwise never see. Like there's one at the beginning of the game where you have to look for Jessica at the Alexandria Tower. But if you get bangers in your party and walk all the way to Port Prospect, you get a really funny cutscene that I think a lot of people have never seen because there's absolutely no reason to ever do that. So yeah, this was a really fun addition to the playthrough. I definitely recommend doing this one as well. This one is an S tier set. And from one S tier to another F tier, this is Snow White and the 7 Funny Dwarfs, 7 Clever Boys. Yeah, this is another slide puzzle slop game. Pretty much all of these are gonna go in F tier without too much comment. This one is Auto Modelista. This is a cel-shaded racing game. This game is really short. This was made by Capcom, and unfortunately they had all their priorities wrong for this game. The mastery on this took me less than 8 hours, and it is required for you to play through this game twice. And you have to do a lot of grinding after as well, so this game is incredibly short. And it has like a lot of like tuning options, but none of them really matter. You just put most powerful thing in and go. And it was just unnecessary to put a lot of that into the game, especially if you consider there's only like 4 tracks in the entire game. So this game is desperate for just more content, or just better content, I suppose. The driving itself also wasn't necessarily the greatest. It does look pretty good. It does sound pretty good. I think we're gonna give this a C tier. There's definitely worse options, but yeah, overall it's just a C tier. This is Peter Pan. That's another slide puzzler that's gonna go in F. By the way, the reason I play those is they're extremely short. And I actually like doing these from time to time when I'm like watching a longer YouTube video or so, because there's no sound in these, and it just gives you something to do, I guess. This is the Fairly Odd Parents Breaking the Rules. This is another jump and run game that's from the PS2 launch Evergreen event. It's like playing it's just not very fun. The game is really funny though. It's still, the Fairly Odd Parents. They have all the original voice actors, I believe, as well. So it is pretty fun. It's like the typical ridiculous stuff that you would expect. But playing it is just, it's so whatever. It's, yeah. I'm gonna put this in D. I'm gonna put this in D just because it's so boring to play. If it was more like to the gameplay, if it was actually like exciting to play, it would go in C. But as it is, it goes in D. Also, I'm probably not the target audience for this game necessarily. WRC Rally Evolved. This game was actually a lot better than I expected. I did play some WRC games on PS3 and on Vita. But this game is pretty much just as good. And for the achievements, you actually do some extra stuff. Like you do a lot of time trials. The achievement dev maybe overdid a little bit with those because there's so many of them. Maybe it wasn't necessary to make that many, but it is what it is. You also do a lot of stuff with the cheats. There are some really funny cheats in this game. Overall, I think I'm gonna put this in A tier actually. What it was really fun. Like, yeah, it was kind of dragging out in the end, but for the most part, this was just a very fun experience. Next up, we have 3 more of these. This is Cinderella, Hansel and Gretel, and Pinocchio. That's just another 3 slide puzzlers. Yeah, they just again, I just play those when I have nothing else to do, and yeah, and they go on F because they're just incredibly lazy and ugly games. Next up is another real game, Medal of Honor Vanguard. This was another 2 playthroughs pretty much required type of deal, because on highest difficulty is pretty. I don't know if it's impossible to do the last mission blind without dying. If it wasn't for the final mission on the highest difficulty, I would have finished this game like 3 hours earlier. It's incredible. Like the last mission on the hardest difficulty is incredibly unfair. The rest of the game is all right. You have to do all the medals, which is why a second playthrough is required, which requires you to do all the individual missions without dying. And like some other things that are yeah, not very difficult. Gameplay wise, it's a little bit annoying because sometimes the bullets just don't go where you want them to. Like there's some built-in inaccuracy, so even if you're dead center with your M1, sometimes you just miss, which is pretty annoying. The question is this like how does it compare to like Call of Duty 3 and Call of Duty World at War? I think this probably is C tier. I don't think it's as good as World at War. That's about as good as Call of Duty 3. Like, it's probably somewhere in the middle, but yeah, I think we're gonna put this in C tier. This is Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront 1. This was extremely fun. Some of the campaign and some of the Galactic Conquest on hard felt very RNG-ish. Sometimes your AI team just doesn't do anything and just completely gives up, and you're just getting run over. So some of these missions I had to replay several times in order to beat them. Your best bet on pretty much every map is just to get into the biggest, baddest vehicle you can and survive for as long as possible, killing as many people as possible. Because sometimes the odds are so against you, you can go like 90-0 and you still lose. Just because your team is just feeding so much. But other than that, it's just a really, really fun game. It's really fun to play. The achievements have you do pretty much everything the game has to offer, plus some extra fun stuff with the with the job cheat. Yeah, I definitely would recommend playing this. It does have some drawbacks. There's some bullshit stuff in this game. Some of the classes that you have to get kills with are just really terrible. So this is not an S tier, but it is an A tier. Next up is another Call of Duty game. This is Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. And I actually had fun with this game. It's probably the best Call of Duty game I've played so far on PS2. I only have one more to go, which is Finest Hour. But I don't think it's good enough for A tier. I think I'm gonna put this in B tier. It's better than World at War Final Fronts, but it's not good enough to go in A tier, I don't think. It's also the most basic achievement set you could ask for. It's just beat the game on hard, that's it. So if the achievements were a bit more interesting, then maybe this would be A tier, but as it is, it's just B tier. And then we come to our final Dragon Quest VIII set. This is the Monster Loot Ledger subset. This took me almost 400 hours to do. Basically what you do in the set, you get every single item drop from every single enemy in the game. And there are, oh my god, how many enemies are there in the game? Like 270 or something. And all of them have 2 different item drops, and the rare drop can be a 1 in 256. So, yeah, some of these you are farming for a long, long time. I think I got a little bit unlucky. But I guess anyone would say that. It's just, I don't know if I actually got unlucky or not. But this is another thing I did a lot while just watching streams or watching YouTube. Because you don't really have to pay attention while you do any of this. I think because it's pretty much the same all the time, I can't put this in S tier. It was still like fun to do, and I was very excited when I finally got it in the end. But I don't think it's as good as the main set or the Party and Record Chat, so this is just gonna be an A tier. And for the final subset, this is the Gran Turismo 4 subset. This basically has everything that the main set did not have as far as main content goes. So for this set, you do all the endurance races, all the 24-hour races, and all the other like really long races. They're like 8-hour races, 9-hour races, like 1,000-kilometer races. Just a bunch of endurance stuff. And you have to beat all the races in the beginner and professional section with 200 A-spec points. Which, those were pretty tricky for some of them. And you have to do some arcade races with like custom settings. And you have to do the shittest thing of all, which is finish a lap on the Nordschleife with the 1 horsepower Mercedes Benz, which that was a big struggle that took almost 6 hours for me. Yeah, it's basically just drive back and forth up a hill for like 3 hours. It's just it was pretty rough. But overall, I would still recommend playing this set just because it's Gran Turismo 4. And Gran Turismo 4 it's just fun to play, you know? because there's some bullshit stuff. It's not gonna be S tier like the main set. It's gonna be just gonna be A tier. But I still recommend playing this for sure. Even though it takes really long as well. This is my longest mastery at 435 hours. But to me, it was worth playing. Next up is Spider-Man: Friend or Foe. This is like a top-down beat 'em up kind of game. It was pretty fun. I didn't feel like it was as repetitive as some people in the comments made it out to be. It's only as repetitive as you make it for yourself, I feel like. I think like all the moves that you upgrade for Spider-Man, like they all have their place. And they're all effective if you know how to make them effective. And actually cycling through them made the game a lot more enjoyable. Rather than just web sling trip the big ones over and over and over again. So I definitely had fun with this game and with the achievements. It is a relatively short game, and you have to do like another hour and a half or something of farming to get all the upgrades. But overall, it wasn't too bad. But it wasn't as good as Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I think I'm gonna give this one a B tier. Next up is Dawn 2 the game. That's an Indian exclusive. I think someone in the comments mentioned that this was the last PS2 game that Sony released or published. It was not the last PS2 release. That honor goes to Pro Evolution Soccer 2014, I believe. But this is the last one that Sony published, and it is really, really shit. It's really bad. It's a third-person shooter, but there's only ever like 2, maybe 3 enemies on the screen at the same time. It's just, yeah, it's pretty terrible. The hardest part about this game is not falling off the roofs in Berlin, because the jump mechanic on that level is just really, really bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this one in F tier. It's so fucking bad. Luckily, it's really short. It was like 2 hours to play through the game. For the set, you also have to do every mission without dying. Which again, on some missions, that's it's more tricky because of the environment rather than the enemies. So I had to restart some of the missions for that. So you can probably play through this game in like an hour if you're fast. Next up is Legend of Hercules. This is another one of these sliding puzzlers, and I'm actually gonna put this one in D, just because the achievement set for this actually has some extra stuff, like time requirements for solving some of the puzzles, and that actually made the set more exciting than the others. It's still not very exciting, like it's still pretty easy, but at least it gives you something else to do, and you actually have to try. So I think it's fair to put this one above all the others. Gran Turismo 2000 demo. This one is a really like bare bones demo. There's only one race and one car. It drives fine. But there's just not much to do. I think I'm gonna put this one in D tier. I think even for a demo, it just doesn't really show me anything of the game. It's just one lap around Seattle, and that's it. This one is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I think this has the honor of having one, I'm not sure if it actually has the lowest retro ratio of all the PS2 games, but it's definitely close. You just get the $1 million question right without using lifelines, which is pretty easy because you can cheat. Google is the thing. But most of the answers, or most of the questions, are easy enough that you don't even need Google, I don't think. It's actually a pretty funny game. I think I put this in C, actually, because, while the achievements, you get through those pretty fast, but if you actually want to play like beyond that, it's probably pretty fun. Definitely more fun than the Jeopardy game. Second to last game, this is Animal Soccer World. This is the last of the sliding puzzle games on this list. I'll put that in F tier as well. I will say for this one, out of all the ones in F tier, this is probably the best one because the motives are, they're more unique, and they're like easier to do because there's more stuff going on, so it's more easily recognizable where pieces go. A lot of the others, it's just, especially with the bigger puzzles, the backgrounds are so one note that they get really annoying. But I didn't have the problem with that game, so I guess it's one of the better ones. Not that is saying much. And then finally, my 50th mastery that I got today was 007 From Russia with Love. This is pretty unique for a 007 game in that it's third person and not first person, like pretty much all the other 007 games at the time. And I had quite a bit of fun with this game. Again, it's for me it was a 2 playthrough, but if you have played this game before, you can just go highest difficulty from the get-go and do most of the side stuff, like why you do 00, because highest difficulty isn't that much more difficult than lowest difficulty. So yeah, that's pretty much what you do for the set as well. You just play through on highest difficulty. You do all the side stuff, all the Bond moments, collect all the schematics, upgrade all your shit. I think I'm gonna put this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this one 8 here. This was a fun time. If you like third-person shooters, this is definitely a good one to check out. And I believe that concludes the tier list for my first 50 PS2 masteries on RetroAchievements. Ended up being a lot more even than I expected. Like there's 7 different games in S, B, C, and D. Then there's a lot in A, and then all the slop in F. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And I'm looking forward to all the other games I'm gonna be playing on PS2, and maybe in, I don't know, half a year or something, I'll make a second video with the PS2 masteries 51 through 100. Or maybe I'll make a tier list for some other consoles as well. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this rather random video here, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.